Hey, what's up, guys? So I often get this question with people that are getting started with CrossFit is, do I need any special equipment or gear?
No, no, no.
No! No, 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 no! No!
No. The idea of CrossFit, way back when Greg Glassman first started this thing, was fitness for everyday life. It was fitness for the unexpected, for the unknown and unknowable, as it was written in several different articles by Glassman himself. It was not fitness so that you can compete in fitness competitions. If you're coming in to work out because you want to get fit for life, you want to get healthy, you don't need anything special. All you need is a pair of shorts, or whatever it is you like to work out in, a shirt, and sometimes shoes, maybe socks so your feet don't smell. That's really it. You could have a headband if you want to keep the sweat out of your face or whatever, but you don't need wrist wraps, you don't need Olympic lifting shoes, you don't need knee sleeves, you don't need a weight belt. None of that is necessary. In fact, a lot of times that stuff gets used as a crutch because that particular person is choosing to ignore some issue or some weakness that they have rather than just fixing the actual issue. Okay, so I don't even have a weight belt to give as an example, but you've all seen them in every gym that you've ever been in. There's weight belts. Wear around here, it's this big, burly, leather thing usually. Look awesome, I totally agree. I mean, everyone that puts one on looks like a badass Viking about to go to war. But you have an anatomical weight belt. It's called your abs and your obliques. The reason that you are relying on that external weight belt is you're either trying to do something that your own anatomical weight belt isn't strong enough to do, or two, you just don't know how to use the weight belt that you were given when you were born. If you're trying to squat a weight or deadlift a weight or clean a weight and you can't do it without this contraption strapped around your midsection, then stop and ask yourself, should I be lifting this thing up? If your reason for being in that gym to begin with is so that you can be fit out in the real world. I mean, are you going to carry around that weight belt with you everywhere you go? I'm guessing that most of you are not. So if there's a deadlift weight that you can't pick up without your back going from this to this, unless you're wearing a weight belt, don't fucking pick it up. Teach yourself, go back to the weight that you can do well and get some reps there, get some sets there, get some eyes on you, get a coach that can actually help you and teach you how to move properly. But that belt isn't gonna do anything. The belt is just setting you up for failure because you're gonna lift a weight in the gym wearing that belt, and you're gonna have this notion of what you can do, but it's only true if you're wearing that belt. So you're gonna get out in the real world, oh yeah, I can pick that up, no problem, right? It's a freaking couch that you're helping your friend move, like no big deal. It shouldn't be a big deal because you're fit. And then you pick it up and all of a sudden, oh God, I can't bend over to tie my shoe. Don't use a belt. It's that simple. All right, the next piece of equipment that you don't need for CrossFit, wrist wraps. Most people that wear wrist wraps wear them because they feel pain when they do particular things. If you're feeling pain, that is a sign that something is going wrong. That is your body telling you to stop. And most of what I see is people don't have the mobility in their wrist that they should have. We've talked about this in previous videos. Over the course of years, over whatever it is you do all day, every day, we don't have to take our wrist out of a certain very small window of range of motion, let alone with really, really heavy weights. So if you're starting CrossFit and your wrists are hurting all the time when you're doing specific movements, take a second or find someone to assess your wrist range of motion. And if you don't have range of motion in a certain area, continuing to push it there and masking the pain by wearing wrist straps is only, again, setting yourself up for failure. So if you have to rely on wrist straps to do pretty basic stuff, then we need to stop and take a look at your actual wrist and see what's going on. Okay, but do understand what I'm saying. There's a difference between pain and discomfort. When you first learn how to front squat or overhead squat or clean, there's gonna be some discomfort involved. That shouldn't stop you. But if there's pain, if there's pinchiness, anything like that going on in the wrist, then there's a bigger issue at hand that needs to be dealt with. All right, next one. This one doesn't bother me so much because it does serve its purpose, and that's knee sleeves. Knee sleeves just help contain heat in the joint. So they're super helpful on cold days or in the winter. A lot of times you'll see lifters using them because they warm up and they want to keep certain joints warm while they're waiting to go do their competitive lift, okay? So I don't mind them so much. It's still not something that you need. If you need knee sleeves to do CrossFit, then we should probably take a closer look at your knees. Why is it that without them they don't feel as good, or they do hurt, or there's pain involved? There's something going on that needs to be addressed, and just simply putting a neoprene sleeve over them is not going to help it. It's only going to make it feel better while that sleeve is on there. All right, Oli shoes, Olympic lifting shoes. People love Oli shoes. I'm not gonna lie, I've had a pair. I bought them like my second year ever at CrossFit. So the main reason most people use Olympic lifting shoes is because they have a very tall heel. This is a flat shoe. So Olympic lifting shoes would be another, ½ inch to an inch of heel on this. And what that does is that automatically puts our foot into more plantar flexion. If this is my normal shoe, and I can only go to here with my low leg, well then if I just simply elevate my heel, now I can get that much more range out of my low leg. So I can squat deeper. You can do this, you can try this in your house. Just simply stand on like a small notebook or something with just your heels. Keep the ball of your foot on the floor and just put your heels on the actual book or the notebook. All it's doing is masking ankle range of motion that maybe you don't have. Again, kind of going back to all this stuff, you just need to look at your ankle. What is your ankle lacking that we need to start working on? And then start working on it. So much of this is like avoiding the whole reason a lot of us got into CrossFit, which was we want to be fit, we want to be healthy, we want to be able to go do shit in life. Well, all this special equipment is the exact opposite of that. Oh yeah, I can go do shit in life. Oh, let me grab my shoes, let me grab my sleeves, let me grab my wraps. Like, no, the whole idea is to be able to be fit so that no matter what life throws at us, we can deal with it. And so we can go do fun shit. We can go play sports. We can go pursue new hobbies, things like that. Having to have all this special equipment totally takes away from that. The only time that this special equipment is, maybe called for is if CrossFit is your hobby, if you are one of the people that likes to go compete in local competitions and stuff like that, and there's nothing wrong with that if that's your thing. And in that case, then yeah, you might need some of this stuff just to help those weekends go a little bit smoother, or to help you get a little bit of a competitive advantage. But even for those people, I would say when you're training in the gym, 90% of the time, you should go without gear so that when you do strap that gear on, you're gonna be that much better. But if you can teach yourself how to go without it and then get your joints working properly so they don't actually need it, then when you do put it on, it's just like an extra boost. It's like an actual advantage. Whereas right now, when you're just training with this stuff all the time, it's not an advantage, it's just to get you up to average. The one thing I will say about Oli shoes, they also have a very hard sole, which is nice. And they also usually have a little bit more than just straight up shoelaces. So like my old ones had, they were do-ins, they had laces with 2 Velcro straps. So the idea there was to secure your foot so it's very snug and tight in the shoe, and then that hard sole so that there's no cushion, because when you're throwing around a heavy bar overhead or throwing it into a front rack, if there's a lot of push and give under your feet, then that's added movement that you're gonna have to deal with. And the less added movement we can deal with in an Olympic lift makes things way easier. So I will say there is that benefit. But again, if you're just training so that you can be fit for life, not so that you can go compete in Olympic competitions, then you might ask yourself, why am I wearing this shoe? Am I gonna have this shoe available to me anytime in the outside world where I might need to actually pick something up? All right, that concludes my soapbox for all the CrossFit gear. if you're just a gearhead and you love buying all that shit, go for it. But when the question comes up, is there anything I need to do CrossFit? The answer is no. CrossFit, back in the original days, long before the CrossFit Games ever got here, long before competitions was a normal thing, was for the everyday individual, for everyday fitness, a general physical preparedness program. That doesn't require anything other than your own body. So, do you need that stuff? Absolutely not. Can you use it? You can. Just make sure it aligns with your ultimate goals for why you're doing CrossFit in the first place.